Another happy winter day in Montreal. All right, it's Friday afternoon and I'm going to get a coffee because I feel like it. So one of the things I want to talk about was some of the psychological issues or the emotional issues that people have when learning to code or first starting out as a coder, programmer, developer. I figured I would start talking about this because hey, I'm pretty aware about all this kind of stuff, and it's actually super important. You can never ignore the emotional aspects of anything you do in life, and especially a career. I just wanted to cover imposter syndrome for developers. I see this out there. I've seen it in the comments. I've seen some chatter online where you have new developers who are concerned about their skill sets, or more precisely, their perceived lack of skills in the development field. They're always worried about, should I learn this? Do I got to learn this language? Do I got to learn that framework, etc., etc.? Let me give you a couple of reality facts here. Fact number one, there is no developer in the world who has ever known everything about development. There is no developer in the world who has ever known everything about a single language, let alone all the languages out there. There's no developer in the world who has ever known all of the major frameworks out there, let alone even knowing one really, really well. There's just so much out there to learn that it is literally an impossibility and a waste of time to try to learn all the different tools and technologies that are out there. You have to remember, every language, every framework, every library will have its proponents, will have its supporters who will be telling you that this is the greatest ever and you have to learn this. It's a must learn. The fact of the matter is that you have seen great software written in just about any of the modern languages, even Ruby. Think about it. Facebook, PHP, LinkedIn, Java, YouTube, Python, Twitter, Ruby. I could go on and on and on and on about the different languages have been used to build things. In my own personal career as a developer going back to the 90s, I have written commercial software. That means software that was either my own, that was used to generate income with, or software that I wrote for other people. I have written commercial software in 9 languages, or using 9 different languages over the years. Not all at the same time, but for each project I would sit down and I would look at the job at hand, and I would pick the technology stack and the language accordingly. It started out with classic ASP with VB script or JavaScript, mostly VB script. And then I did lots of Java. I used some basic Java frameworks like struts, but then I rolled out my own framework. I've done stuff in C#, I've done stuff in PHP, etc., etc., etc. Some obscure languages. I actually wrote something for a very large pharmaceutical. It was either Merck or Avantis. I'm not sure which one now. Anyhow, and I wrote something with VB script that interacted with DCOM on Windows through a framework called an HTA, which is a hypertext application, something that Microsoft put together in the, I think it was the late 90s. and it allowed you to basically turn your web browser on the client into a thick client where you could access Windows components via DCOM with VBScript. So there you go. That's kind of some weird, wacky stuff, but I made that technology stack choice because of the requirements for the particular job. I won't go into details. I could have done it in other technologies, but that was by far the easiest way to go for that project. Anyhow, so if you do have that fear, that belief that you don't know enough, as long as you have a firm grasp of the fundamentals, as long as you're comfortable, in the case of the web stack, if you have a firm grasp of HTTP, HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and you know some server-side languages, you understand CRUD operations, you understand database design, you should be pretty good to go. Now, what level of developer you are has much less to do with which frameworks you know, and has much more to do with how sophisticated and, more precisely, how simple and well-structured your code is. That is what separates the professional developers from the juniors. The juniors will write sloppy code that's overcomplicated and a hassle and a mess to deal with. The expert developers, the pros, will write simple, easy to understand modular code where everything is decoupled. If you don't understand what all this means, the decoupling of code, fine-grained objects, that's because you're not an advanced developer yet. I hope that helps. Bye-bye.